What do you guys think about that? About like characters in animes like getting dumber and stuff. At least the shonen ones. Like I didn't like that too much. And I think it's because of Luffy, guys. I think they're trying to be like Luffy a little bit. I hate it, bro. Goku Super is so dumb. I can't stand it. Like they regressed his character. Facts, bro. They regressed it all the way to OG Dragon Ball levels of stupidity, you know, and that's the problem. Because Goku in Z, you know, if we're gonna be honest, Goku is not the main character of Z. The main character of Z is Gohan, right? That's why Cell gets defeated by Gohan, not Goku. Because of that, then Goku gets to be more wise during the show because he's the mentor. He's what Gohan is supposed to turn into, you know, or surpass. So he gets to be the mentor character, the wise character, the character that comes in, saves the day, kind of like, you know, shows people the right way to do things. And then in Super, because Gohan's not the main character, Goku is, then they can't treat him as a finished character. They have to treat him as a character that's a work in progress. And that's a shame because a lot of people love the mentor version of Goku, the Goku that's wise, the Goku that, you know, has the answers. That's why I said Goku mid Z is PEAK Goku. Like Cell Saga Goku, I think Cell Saga Goku is PEAK Goku. What's good, people? I think Z Goku is the main is still the main character. I disagree, bro. I disagree. How can Z Goku be the main character when he's constantly taken out of the show? If you think about it, at the beginning of the show, Goku dies and Gohan goes to train with Piccolo to become stronger to defeat the Saiyans. And Goku does as well, but Gohan becomes kind of like the co-pilot to that show, right? He starts to become the focus. And then when they actually fight the Saiyans, Goku didn't defeat Vegeta, bro. Vegeta basically defeated Goku, and it took Gohan and Krillin to do it. So in the Saiyan saga, who was the one who really defeated Vegeta? It wasn't Goku. It was Gohan and Krillin, if we're gonna be honest. And that's why Toriyama, in my opinion, like, that was peak Toriyama, bro. Like back in the Z era, like he knew that Goku was the focus for a lot of people, but he found ways to take him out of the show and build expectations for Goku to come back, you know. And that was constantly throughout the show. Goku was always gone. He was never the focus. In the Namek saga, Goku was gone. He was like on the ship training, but Krillin and Gohan were the main focus of the Namek saga. And you know, and I think that was genius. And that's why actually I'm a Krillin fan. Like I really like Krillin because my favorite season was the Frieza saga and the Frieza saga, the Namek saga. I thought that was the best season in terms of like just Dragon Ball, you know. Like actually I don't know, I can't say that. I think the Android saga was better, but I have a strong appreciation for the Frieza saga, and that's why I kind of grew to love Krillin, you know what I mean? My take on that is that Goku in the Z era still has some competition regarding threats. In Super, Goku didn't have that much trouble because none of the enemies represented the same danger. True. So there's a lack of threats in Super, and that's why it doesn't feel as serious, or Goku doesn't even have to kind of get into that serious side. So that's true. I agree with that. Gohan was supposed to be the protagonist first after the Namek saga, and then again until the Android Buu saga. Well, in the Android saga, he ended up being the main character because the story starts with Gohan. People forget that they don't see future Gohan as Gohan, but that is Gohan, bro. You gotta think, Z is Gohan's story. It's not Goku's story, bro. It's Gohan's story. That's why when you start the Android saga, it starts with Gohan in the future and Goku's dead again, like away from the story. The whole time Toriyama wanted Goku away from the story. The thing is, people like Goku so much, he had to bring him back for Buu at the end of Buu, but Gohan was always meant to take over that story. Then you see it in the Android saga. It starts with Trunks and Gohan, the next generation. You know what I mean? And then Trunks comes back to find Goku because he thinks Goku's the hero, but who ends up saving the world and defeating Cell ultimately? It's Gohan. So Gohan's the main character, guys. Gohan's the main character, not Goku and Z. People forget that. Yeah, and then Toriyama decided he wasn't fit for the role. I don't think it was Gohan's story. I think it was evident when Goku realized after talking to Piccolo that Gohan didn't want that. The thing is, and this is what makes Z 1,000 times better than Super, GT, or anything that came after, right? Goku, he was a mentor to Gohan, right? He saw potential in Gohan, but the mistake that Goku made was that he saw Gohan as a Saiyan and not as a human. His inevitable, like, he's always trying to like get amazing fights, get stronger, stuff like that. Gohan never really cared about that sort of thing, but he did care about protecting, you know, the world, his friends, stuff like that. That's why when he was training in the hyperbolic time chamber, he remembered the time where he couldn't save his friends from Frieza, Krillin, and stuff, and that's what made him like turn Super Saiyan. So Goku wasn't appealing to Gohan's humanity, he was appealing to the Saiyan side, like go get a good fight against Cell. Like, that's what drives Goku, but it doesn't drive Gohan. And that's what Piccolo showed him in that moment, and it made him doubt himself. It made Goku doubt himself, like, okay, maybe I miscalculated this moment, I fucked up, right? But it doesn't mean that Gohan wasn't the main character. It was just that the motivation behind his actions they weren't aligned. Okay, so Goku's motivations behind fighting are not the same motivations that Gohan has, and his mistake was assuming that they were the same, you know. That's why like Toriyama's writing in that moment was like really great, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And Super will never get there, bro. It will never get to that level of writing ever again. Like, it just won't, you know. And that's why, you know, people might call me, you know, bias, nostalgia, all that, but in my opinion, Z is peak Dragon Ball, and it'll never be surpassed. And then in Buu, it's like I do want to talk about Buu, the Buu saga, a little bit. By the time that Toriyama was writing the Buu saga, he was a little bit tired with the power scaling, the power creep. You know, he was tired of transformations. He was tired of the constant like one-upping the next power level and the next power level and the next power level. Let me explain something about the Buu saga. By the time the Buu saga was being written, Toriyama was kind of done with Dragon Ball. Like, he wanted to stop. The Cell saga was supposed to be the ending of Dragon Ball. If you notice, Cell is a combination of everyone, right? It was like he had Goku cells, Tien's, Vegeta's. He had everybody's cells. He's the culmination of what Dragon Ball represents and everything that came before, right? Gohan is the next generation, and by him defeating Cell, it's like it puts a nice ending to the whole Dragon Ball story. So it could have ended right there, and Toriyama intended for it to end right there. The problem is Dragon Ball got too popular.
So run along, pipsqueaks.
Too popular, and they wanted him to bring it back.
Look, it's like this.
But by the time he started the Buu saga, he was done with Dragon Ball, guys. Like, he did not want to keep writing Dragon Ball. That's what people don't understand, right? Another thing is, Toriyama was done with transformations. He did not like transformations. That's why after SS2, he didn't want to make SS3 and all that. But it kind of forced him to, you know? It kind of forced him to. That's why he came up with fusions. That's why he tried to get at the transformations out of Gohan's kit, right? That's why Ultimate Gohan has black hair, not a Super Saiyan form. All of that stuff.
You can't call yourself.
But the writers, the editors, just kept forcing him to go back to transformations. That's why when Gotenks fuses and goes SS3, he makes a complete joke out of it, right? It becomes like a gag manga because it's kind of like a form of protest. Like, I didn't want to make SS3 fusions and all that, but if you're gonna force me to do it, I'm gonna make a joke out of it. It's a form of protest, and people miss that, right? So like the Dragon Ball Heroes fans and stuff like that, the Dragon Ball Legends fans who like transformations and stuff, technically you're going against Toriyama's will in a way. Like, he didn't want to keep the power creep going. It's just that's what the series became, you know. I think that's why the Buu Saga ended why it did. Instead of the Buu Saga ending with the next generation like Goku was about to wish, it ended with the entire planet coming together. And I think it was smart to do it that way. And I think it was smart to have Hercule be a part of it, because it was like, what do you say, let humanity save itself for once. Like, that was a pretty cool concept. But yeah, Toriyama, you know, underrated writer, honestly. The problem is when you refuse to end the series, it gets to a point where it jumps the shark. And if you don't know what jumping the shark means, it's an old movie term. It basically means when something so crazy happens in the show that it takes you out of the show and it like devalues the show's quality, right? That's what jumping the shark means. And Dragon Ball jumped the shark a long time ago, bro. Long time ago. It's just like the series just refuses to die. You know, because it's so popular, bro. It just prints money. Like, you cannot stop it. But I'm grateful for that, because even though Dragon Ball jumped the shark a long time ago, there's stuff that I like about it still, and I like the new stuff. So, but it will never be Dragon Ball Z. It will never beat it. I don't care what they come out with. It's not beating Dragon Ball Z, no matter what they do. Unless they try to create a new story, and even then, don't see it happening. I would like them to focus more on the new generation like Trunks and Goten. A lot of people would. A lot of people would, bro. But they refuse to let Goku rest. They refuse to let Goku rest, bro.
Hey, hold on there, Fuzzboy.
That's why
Wait, let me guess.
I think
Superhero?
Superhero.
Right?
I think Superhero is underrated, bro. That movie's underrated. It focused on, you know, Gohan and the kids and stuff like that. It got Goku out of the way. I think that's good. And I think they should take Vegeta, Goku, and Broly on a journey. Like, we should have some content with just them three, going to maybe like a different universe. Like, imagine if Broly, Vegeta, and Goku went to the planet of the other Saiyans in the other universe. Bro, that would be so hype, bro. Toriyama, I think, originally wanted to gradually shift it to Gohan at the Cell Saga, but for the most part before, it was still mainly focused on Goku's development. Okay, I respect what you're saying, but if that's true, then why does Goku die like episode 2? And then we focus on Gohan going to train with Piccolo for a long time, right? And then in the Namek Saga, Goku's not even in that saga for episodes at a time. It's all about Gohan the whole time. It's like Gohan and Krillin in the Namek Saga trying to survive against the Frieza Force. And it's only until the climax of the actual arc that we see Goku. And then not only that, right after Goku comes to Namek, he's away from the story again. They put him in a chamber where he's basically just passed out. And we gotta wait till the damn Frieza fight is damn near over for him to show up. So how is he the main character, but he's not even in the show damn near? Well, I mean, you still gotta build up Gohan. That is his son. I understand that, bro. But think about it. The show starts with Gohan, right? He goes to Master Roshi. He presents Gohan. Raditz takes Gohan. Goku tries to save. Gohan dies. Then we go see Gohan train with Piccolo, right? Goku comes back, fails to beat Vegeta. Who beats Vegeta? Gohan and Krillin. Okay, now Goku's in the hospital while Gohan and Krillin are in space, going on adventures, training. They get to Namek. Who's the one who sees the Frieza Force first? Gohan. Who's the one who kicks Dodoria in the face first? Gohan. Okay, then Goku has to get on a ship. He's training to go to Namek, but we're still with Gohan. He's still doing stuff. Now he's fighting the Ginyu Force. You know what I mean? Goku shows up for a little bit, saves Gohan. Okay. Then he's incapacitated, away from the story again. So we go right back to Gohan. Who starts fighting Frieza? Gohan. Okay, it's all about Gohan, bro. Gohan never got sidelined. Exactly, bro. Exactly. And then in the Android Saga, when the Android Saga starts, who do we see first? Future Gohan with Trunks. Goku's not even here. He's not even around. That's what I'm saying. Gohan is the main character, bro, of Z. People miss that. Hey, that's all I'm saying. You know, we just gotta put respect on Gohan's name. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And I'm not even like a
Well,
Gohan
let's take him
super
out.
fan like that. I'm just speaking facts.